Hi everyone, today we're going to walk you through how to swap a pump on an EVO system. So here we have an EVO 1. The first thing we're going to do is remove the receptacle. So I'm going to tilt up on the tilt lever and then push in and up on those arms to fully free the receptacle. There's going to be tubing attached to the bottom of the receptacle. If you have a system that's only UP, you just have to worry about the UP side. If you have a system with both UP and self-clean, you're going to have to do both. So if there's spring clamps on these tubes, all you're going to do is pinch that spring clamp, work it past the barb, and then you can remove the tubing from your receptacle and set it off to the side. Now, I'm going to remove the tubing off of our dosing chamber here. So here we still have some spring clamps, so I'm going to move those off on both sides. And now I'm going to pull the tubing off. The last thing we need to disconnect before we can remove the pumps is the pump harness. So as you can see, there are wires that are feeding up to the back of the pump. And if we follow those back, they are little 4-position connectors that look like this. To disconnect these, you're going to push down on this tab here and then pull apart. So I've disconnected the UP pump, and I'm going to do the same thing for our self-clean pump here. So push in, disconnect. Now that everything is disconnected, I can take my screwdriver, undo these 2 screws per pump, so 4 screws total if you have 2 pumps, and I'm going to remove those screws now. So I'm going to gently remove the pump entirely, making sure not to snag it on anything else inside the system. And I'm going to do the same thing for the UPX pump. Now that those old pumps are removed, I'm going to grab my 2 new pumps and install them in the opposite order of how I just installed them. So I'm going to take my UPX pump and make sure it goes on the left side. I'm going to screw that in. Same thing, 2 screws for my self-clean pump, which is going to be on the right-hand side. Now that my pumps are attached to the pump bracket, I'm going to reattach my pump harnesses. Now, it's important to note that they are 2 different controllers for each pump. So the harness that has white, green, red, and black goes to the UP side, which is the left-hand pump. Or if you just have a UP pump, that should be the only one you plug in. And the other harness goes to the self-clean pump. Now what I'm going to do next is attach the outlets to the dosing chamber. So the outlets are the right-hand side tubes of each pump. You'll notice on the UPX pump, it has 1 short side, which is the outlet. The self-clean has 2 identical lengths of tubes. So what I'm going to do for the self-clean is route it behind our mixing chamber and attach it to that barb on the right. And I'm going to take our UPX outlet tube and attach it to the barb on the left of our mixing chamber. Now that those 2 are attached, I'm going to make sure I have the ability to get these inlet tubes out, and I'm going to reinstall the receptacle by lining up these 2 holes with the pivot rod, tilting the receptacle up, and reinstalling. Now that the receptacle is up, I can take my UPX inlet, that's going to be on the left side, and place it on the pierce tube barb that we removed it from earlier. And then I'm going to do the same thing with our self-clean inlet. And now that we've done that, we have fully swapped out our EVO pumps